Hi, I'm Claire Thorne. I'm a candidate in the Red Hill ward of the Mornington Peninsula Shire elections. And people have been asking me, so if you got elected, Claire, what would be the first thing that you would do? Well, I understand, because I've done the candidate training, is that the first thing that a new council does is to establish a new strategic plan. Now, this would be really important because here we are, we're in the middle of a pandemic. And the most important thing is for us to have a response to the current situation and also a plan for recovery, because we will get out of this eventually. Now, that will mean us looking at how do we allocate our resources at the moment? What do we do in terms of advocating to state and federal government for the best possible deal for our residents and our businesses? This is really important. I'm really experienced at developing strategic plans, so I'm quite excited about the process, but I'm also concerned that the resources are going to be tight. So that's why having a really solid council of new councillors would be fantastic. The other things that are persistent on the peninsula are issues such as transport. We are so poorly serviced. I live in an area where the bus comes 4 times a day. And if you don't get on that bus at Frankston at 1 o'clock, you're not coming to Flinders. So I remember a time when the railway went to Mornington and we used to go there for holidays. I want the rail line electrified back to Mornington. I want it electrified obviously to Baxter, and I want it electrified to at least Bittern. That would make an enormous difference to so many people, young and old. Well, in fact, all ages, because it's much better to be catching public transport than jumping in a car all the time. So this is a really important issue for me, and clearly it's an important issue for most people. The other things that are of great concern to me are climate change. There's no time to waste. We really do need to think much more innovatively about how we get rid of our rubbish and how we can create renewable energy opportunities on the peninsula. There's some great innovators that are ready to go, and I think the council really need to consider how many we can establish across the peninsula. The other things that are important to me are ensuring that our local producers are being supported and not being held up or unnecessarily stalked by council officers. I don't understand why people are landing in VCAT the way they are. So having access to local produce has been fantastic. I'm a remote worker, and I've so enjoyed having food delivered to my front door that has been pulled out of the ground a couple of days ago. It's amazing. We are so lucky. The other thing that really, really fires me up is protecting the natural environment. So I cannot understand why we would, for a minute, support the AGL proposal. There is no good reason for that. Equally, there is absolutely no good reason for blowing off part of the hillside at Arthur's Seat. I am so strongly opposed to it, I can't tell you. It makes me livid to think that the Ari Ross Trust is handing out grants to environment groups, but at the same time wanting to put a hole in the side of the hill that's the equivalent of 23 MCGs. I just don't know how that can happen. That has to have the force of the council behind it and the residents that totally oppose it. So I can't do all these things by myself. I need your vote, I need your support, and I'm asking for it. So please vote me in, and I will follow through with these commitments.